guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, we're going to be seeing what's going on in your love life in the year 2022. And as you can see from the title, this video is also going to have a personal reading giveaway. So if you guys are interested in participating in that, just stick around because I'm going to explain how to enter and what to do if you win. But if not, there will be a timestamp in the description as well as in the pinned comment so that you can skip forward to the pile selection. So if you are still here, hello and welcome to the personal reading giveaway. So throughout the month of December, I'm going to be, or I have been, posting videos around the theme of bringing in the new year, and each video has a personal reading giveaway in it as my way to say thank you for another amazing year. So this is the fourth out of 5 videos that will have giveaways on this channel. The last video's giveaway should also be open still, year 2022 month by month, so you guys can enter that one as well if you haven't already. But to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is comment on this video and let me know which pile you chose and how it resonated for you, and what is your hope for your love life in 2022? And you don't have to write something really long. You can literally just be like, I chose pile 1, I liked it, I want a girlfriend. Like, it can be really simple like that. I'm not gonna be, well, I am gonna be reading the comments, but what you write specifically doesn't really matter. The winners will be selected randomly, but just hit those points so that I know you are actually like a giveaway entry. And you know what? In the past videos, I was giving 7 days to announce the winner and announcing one winner, but I feel like going big. So in this video, I'm gonna give you guys 2 weeks to enter, and I'm gonna select 2 winners. I'm just really enjoying, I feel like Santa Claus. I'm really enjoying the holiday spirit. So we're gonna do 2 winners in this video. Yes, and I'm gonna be announcing on the community section who the winners are, just so you guys know that I actually chose winners. But to notify the winner, I'm gonna be replying to their comment. So if you guys enter the giveaway, make sure that you have your notifications on so that you will actually be notified if you have won. If I do reply to your comment, please make sure that it's actually me, Kino Tarot, with the pink wig and a check mark next to my name. The check mark is super important. If there's no check mark, it's a scammer. And also remember that this is a giveaway for a free reading. So if I reply to you and I say, hey, you got a reading, and then I make you pay, that's not me. It's a scammer. I will instruct you guys, if you're the winner, to reach out to me at a specific email address where we can further discuss your reading. I'm not going to set a specific time length on this reading, but it will be up to 2 questions. You can ask 2 questions about whatever. They do not have to be about the same topic. So for example, you could ask 1 question about your love life and 1 question about your career. In general, in my history of doing personal readings, I'm generally okay with the questions most people ask. Of course, there might be some questions that I'm uncomfortable with answering, but you know, we'll figure it out together. We will discuss that in the emails, and the video will be pre-recorded. So I'm gonna send you an unlisted link, a link to an unlisted YouTube video for your reading. And I will also ask that when you email me, you include a screenshot of the notification that you received when I replied to your comment. Please make sure that it's the actual notification and not just a screenshot of the comment, because that comment is available to anybody, but only you as the winner can see the notification. So please make sure not to just send me this, but send me this. Whenever this video is uploaded, the cutoff will be 14 days after this. And like I said, the previous video, month by month, 2022 predictions, should be still open. So if you guys haven't entered that yet and you want to, feel free to go check that one out. But yes, that is everything that you guys need to know. So without further ado, let's get to your pile selection. There are 4 options for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Angelite. Number 2 is Caribbean Calcite. Number 3 is Rose Quartz. And number 4 is Mangano Calcite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose this Angelite heart, this is going to be a reading all about your love life in the year 2022. So I wanted to try something a little bit different at the start of this reading just to make things a bit more personalized. I'm going to shuffle this deck and pull 3 tarot cards, and one card is going to be for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life. So maybe you are trying to manifest a new person into your life, or you've just met somebody and things are just starting off for you. And then I'm going to pull a card for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle. So maybe you're already in a relationship with somebody, maybe you're already involved with somebody and things are progressing. And then I will pull a card for those of you who are at the end of a cycle. So in a separation, or have just gone through a breakup, or maybe you're feeling that you want your relationship to come to an end, something like that. Of course, it will be up to your intuition to decide where you are in the cycle of your love life. And you are, of course, welcome to claim more than one or all of the messages that come up in this part. So, you might feel like you're at the beginning of a cycle, but you resonate with the message for the end of a cycle. That's totally fine. You're free to claim all of them. Okay? So let's see how this goes. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I just wanted to try it today. So, okay, that one's excited. The first card that we have for you guys who are at the beginning of a cycle is the Knight of Cups. I can see why that flew out because it's a very, very exciting message. A card for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle. We have the King of Swords, okay? And for those of you who are at the end of a cycle, we have the 7 of Swords. All right, so wow, okay, for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life, so you are trying to manifest somebody new into your life, or you've just met somebody, this is gonna go really, really well, okay? So for those of you who have been, and the camera timer just went to 222, which is like a huge confirmation of healthy relationships, partnerships, beautiful, beautiful energy here. If you guys have been trying to bring somebody into your life, somebody new, whether you know them or not, just somebody that you haven't been involved with romantically yet, I do see them very, very clearly coming into your life in the year 2022. If you guys have just met somebody and you're wondering how things are going to go with them, this is also an amazing sign. The Knight of Cups represents somebody who is kind, sweet, compassionate, somebody who has a lot of empathy, somebody who is sensitive and romantic and in touch with their emotional side. And it can also represent someone moving towards you and coming to bring you an offer. So for those of you who are just starting in a cycle of your love life, it looks really, really, really promising. You're either going to manifest a wonderful person, or the person you have already manifested is going to be very, very wonderful to you. Now, for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, so you've known somebody for quite some time, or you've been with somebody for quite some time, in the year 2022, I do see that, and honestly, this can be both of your energy, but one or both of you might be holding back on their emotions a little bit. This is more often than not the interpretation I get when the King of Swords appears in a love reading. It's almost like somebody is trying to figure out how vulnerable they can be. Like, how much of their emotions can they show? How much of their softness, how much of their vulnerability can they show? Someone's kind of afraid of opening up. It's definitely not that they don't want to, because when I look at this King of Swords, especially with the 2 heads looking in different directions, and there's an emphasis on the heart chakra, it might be a little bit hard to see in the camera, but it's someone who's torn. It's like, I want to come forward, but I'm afraid. Maybe I'm afraid of rejection. Maybe I'm afraid of a past wound repeating history. So this might kind of be the energy that you are dealing with. For those of you, if you're listening to this and thinking, oh yeah, that's definitely the other person who's afraid and not opening up. Sometimes I feel like this card challenges us to look within and see in what ways we might be doing the same. Because sometimes we really think like, oh, I'm ready for this. I'm open. I'm moving forward. But we're actually scared and holding back too, just as much as the other person is, who is, you know, maybe frustrating us. So this year might be one where you really want to look within and see in what ways you're holding back, in what ways you're afraid of being vulnerable, in what ways you are, the word I want to say is like cheating yourself of a beautiful love experience because you have walls up. And it might be a situation where you and this person are mirroring each other. You both kind of have walls up. You're both kind of afraid. So if you're in the middle of a cycle, this is the energy that I see you guys dealing with. If you are at the end of a cycle, the card that we have for you guys is the Seven of Swords. So maybe some of you guys are becoming disillusioned with the person that you are with. The Seven of Swords is a card that talks about deception. It can very well be intentional deception, but this is not always the case. It doesn't always have to be malicious like this, but it can just be that realization of, oh, I thought this person was one way, but they're actually the other way, or oh, there was a lot I didn't know about this person and now their true colors are coming through. There's kind of an energy of you guys finding the truth, finding the true colors of the person that you were involved with or that you separated from. And I think that now that you have the whole truth, it would be easy to move on, especially if you had a lot of what ifs, or you had a lot of regret, like, oh, this could have been so amazing. This is kind of like, oh, so you're that kind of person. Oh, okay, I see now. And that might hurt, but I think it helps you to get closure. Like you're realizing, oh, this isn't somebody I would have wanted in my life anyway. This is the kind of vibe I get from the Seven of Swords. So I think you guys will get closure, clarity, and peace about your ending. And I think that you'll be able to move on with confidence, like knowing that everything happened for the best. So kind of different energies here throughout the three cards. Again, if you feel like you resonate with more than one or even all of them, regardless of where you're at in your love life cycle, please feel free to claim as many of these messages as you want. And now let's move on to our next tarot deck. So I'm going to pull a few cards from this deck and I'm going to read them as like a succession of your love life throughout the year. Okay, so for group one, what can we see about their love life in 2022? The first card that we have is the Two of Crystals. Then we have the Ten of Crystals. So this is the Two of Wands and the Ten of Wands. And then we have the Six of Swords. I love that transition. That makes me very happy. And then, does that one want to come out? No? She was a little hesitant. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to go through these as if they are a succession of events. I won't give like exact time frames for this one, I think, but basically you can think of this side as the beginning of the year and this side as the end of the year. So we're starting off with the Two of Crystals or the Two of Wands. And when it comes to a love life reading, this is definitely giving me the feeling that you guys have options. So if you guys are single and trying to meet people, I do feel like you're going to be manifesting at least two different candidates for your future partner. If you're already in a relationship with somebody, then this could be referring to you and your partner have options of what future you are going to choose. So maybe you guys are looking for a new place to live together, or maybe you guys are looking for like a different job or something like that. We do have movement over here. If I just jump forward a little bit, we do have movement here with the Six of Swords. So like maybe if you guys are in a relationship, then you and your partner are going to be moving in together, or you and your partner are both going to be like moving away to somewhere else. Maybe it's like because of somebody's job. It kind of looks like you have options, and I feel like I've been talking about this a lot in recent readings. It's like the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords have been appearing a lot in readings that I'm doing recently, but I like to make the distinction that Two of Crystals is like having options in a good way. It's not this stressful, like, oh my gosh, I need to choose, or at least your guides are saying you don't have to feel that way. It's not one of those, like, you need to choose right now and you need to worry about if you're making the right choice. It's like, look at all these doors opening for you. This is like, it can be, if you're in the right mindset, like kid in a candy store kind of energy. So if you guys are single and you're meeting a bunch of new people, I think your guides are saying, rather than to stress yourself out about like you have to choose one person and who's the right person for you, just enjoy it. Just enjoy getting to know these people, enjoy their company, honestly, enjoy receiving this beautiful treatment. I feel like you guys are really attracting people into your life who treat you right. I almost wanted to say the word finally there. So maybe some of you guys who chose this pile have had kind of bad luck in manifesting potential partners, because I really wanted to say there, like, you are finally, and the camera just said 1111. So, and even this looks like an 11. You're finally like bringing in people who really treat you right, who really respect you, who you really have a lot in common with. And I think maybe your guides just want you to enjoy this for a while. I feel like it's not so urgent for you to make a decision. So you're enjoying many people's company. And again, if you're with somebody and this is you guys choosing a path for your future, maybe take a more lighthearted approach. Think of it less as there's a right way and a wrong way to pick, but oh my gosh, we have so many doors open for us. We are so blessed that we have these options to create our future together. So the next card that we have is the Ten of Crystals, and this is really interesting energy to come out after that, because I almost feel like this is the divine showing you which way to go. When you have these options here, this is the divine showing you which way to go. And I'm gonna kind of risk sounding harsh here maybe, but you guys are in this energy of having options, and with the Ten of Crystals or the Ten of Wands, it's like one of your options turns out to be more trouble than it's worth. Like, it's a lot of effort for not much in return. So, you know, you have all these people who are coming to you and treating you nicely. Maybe with a little bit of time, some people start revealing their true colors, and you realize that maybe there was somebody who was just being really nice at the beginning to win you over, and then once they feel like they have you locked in, or however you say that, they kind of stop putting in effort. There might be somebody like that, an option that seemed really appealing at first, but then you realize like, okay, this person is not pulling their weight in this connection. I feel like I'm the one who's always starting the conversation. I'm the one who always has to come up with an idea of what we're gonna do for a date. Some of you guys, and I think this is maybe just for a few of you, but there might be someone who's like always forgetting their wallet, or like you have to pay for everything for this person. I do think for the most part this is talking about emotional efforts or like emotional labor. I'm always supporting this person and giving them advice, but then they're not helping me, or like when we're on a date they're just always talking about themselves. It's that kind of energy. The Ten of Wands is like somebody who has to carry the whole burden on their own. So if you guys have options, it's almost like your guides are saying, don't stress, just enjoy yourself right now, and the options that are not for you will weed themselves out. I don't know, I feel so harsh when I'm saying this, but like the options who are not for you will naturally fall away because they won't carry their weight. And actually, that's a good piece of advice for you guys. If you're in a connection with somebody and they stop carrying their weight, do not pick up they're slack, okay? Like it's one thing if somebody's just having a rough day or they're temporarily going through something, but if someone is consistently not showing up, you're not doing them any favors if you pick up after them. That's kind of what your guides are saying. So if somebody's showing you that they're not going to show up in this connection, they're not going to put their equal amount of energy into it, just kind of let it fall off. Like you guys are definitely not in a place of lack here. You guys are definitely not going to be lonely if you have to let some people go. It's almost like you guys you're stepping into, I would say this is like a queen energy or a high priestess energy, regardless of your gender. But you know, I feel like your standards of the treatment you will accept are a lot higher. And maybe one of the reasons I feel harsh saying this is because it might feel harsh to you guys, especially if you're used to being super, super compassionate for people and super, super like, oh, they're not putting energy into this connection. I'll do the extra work. I will go the extra mile to lift them up. If you're really used to having to do that kind of thing, like giving and giving, giving and not receiving, when you put your foot down and stop giving so freely, I guess it could feel kind of harsh. But like your guides are saying, don't bother. They're even wording it kind of harshly. Like we don't have time for this kind of relationship in 2022, okay? So if someone's not putting in their effort, let them fall away. And the people who are like ready to really put in an effort, they will stick around for you. And I think this is how you're going to find your option. And similarly, if you guys are already with somebody and you have choices, for example, choice of where you're going to move together, same thing. Like one of the options is going to end up being way too much of a hassle, way too annoying. Like you're trying to pick which apartment to move in, and maybe like with one option, the agents or the people that you're dealing with are kind of irritating, or they're just making the process way more complicated than it needs to be, or there's a lot of delays and it's like, man, this apartment is not even that nice. It's like that kind of feeling, like it's not worth the trouble. One of the options will be not worth the trouble. Or like even if it's on a bigger scale, like, oh, what country are we gonna live together? Maybe one of the places has a really, really long and cumbersome immigration process, and you're like, man, like it's just not worth it anymore. So anything that starts to ask a ridiculous amount of effort from you, I think it's like your guides are saying, don't bother. Whether it's, you know, a connection or something you and your partner are facing together, you don't need to be overexerting yourself like this. And like I said earlier, I really, really like that the Six of Swords is coming out right after the Ten of Wands, because it's quite an opposite energy to me. Like the Ten of Wands is like you're breaking your back, you're busting your ass, and you're not getting much in return, whereas the Six of Swords is literally like smooth sailing. And it can also have this feeling of moving on or moving away. So maybe this is a little bit, maybe they should have come out that way so that visually it looks like the Six of Swords is moving away from the Ten of Wands, but we're reading this in chronological order, so just pretend they're going that way. Like, bye, like this, moving away from the stressful situation, moving away from the unfair situation. And then this represents a time where things are easy, where things are smooth sailing. And this represents a point where you and the person you're involved with are going to have really, really open and smooth communication. So for those of you who are dealing with a King of Swords, or for those of you who feel like you are a King of Swords, this Six of Swords represents a time of the year, and maybe this is like around fall season if you're in the north hemisphere, and spring season if you're in the south hemisphere. I think I did that right. You know, like around the second half of the year, communication is really, really going to open up. So if you are like single but you're involved with somebody, this will represent a time where you really, really start to open up about your feelings. Maybe this is when you have the discussion of moving things further, of moving to a higher level of commitment. We do have the number 6 here, which is a number of unconditional love, harmony, reciprocity. I could definitely see this representing a point in the year where things are moving up to the next level in your love life. So you're getting into a committed relationship with someone, or going to the next level of commitment with your partner. Like I said, moving in together, or if you're already living with someone, this could even represent like you're starting to talk about engagement, or you're starting to talk about having a family together, or meeting this person's family if you haven't done that already. Like moving to the next level. And this phrase is coming to my mind with this card. It's like, there's nothing you could say to turn me off from you, or something like that. I guess what this energy is like is maybe on a first date or something, you're like nervous about how you're coming off. You're nervous about what you can say and can't say because you don't want to come off as like weird or silly or something, or say something embarrassing. And then it's like, once you get here, you've reached a point of closeness with your person where it's like you could literally, the dumbest shit could come out of your mouth, or the loudest burp could come out of your mouth, and I would not care. Like, it would never make me think of you any differently. It would never make me any less attracted to you. Like, you got me. This is the part of the year where it's like you've got each other, you know, whether it's someone new or, you know, your partner, that you're overcoming this king of, oh my god, I keep knocking the glass with my elbow. It's making a pretty noise though. And I dropped the Nine of Cups on the floor. So Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment, happiness, satisfaction, what you want coming true. So many of you have been trying to manifest this happy partnership, and we're seeing this around the, maybe a little bit past the halfway mark of the year, if we think of this as the middle. But yeah, this is beautiful, beautiful energy here. And then finally at the end of the year, we have the Seven of Cups. And what this is making me think of is like, you guys are gonna want to be pinched. The Seven of Cups has a lot of different interpretations, but because it's coming right after this, like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, my wish is coming true, we're getting closer than we ever have before. Because it's coming after this kind of energy, I think this is talking about the whole thing feeling very surreal to you. Almost, yeah, like you want to be pinched because it feels like a dream. The Seven of Cups can also talk about being overcome with emotion. So I wonder if there's some kind of climax coming at the end of the year that you can't believe. For some of you, if you're already with somebody, I could definitely see this as like, you know, you've started to talk about your future together. You've started to talk about, you know, getting engaged or something like that. But then when it actually happens, it's just like too much to process. Like you start glitching or something. You just like shut down. You can't believe this is really, really happening. Or if you are not in a relationship yet, it's like you're opening up, you're having better communication, you're getting closer, and now this person is asking you to be their significant other, or now this person is telling you that they love you, or something like this. It's something that feels surreal, it's something that you've been dreaming about, it's something that is hard to believe, and yeah, like I said, you just want to be pinched. Wow, what a nice energy. So let's move on to the oracle cards now. I have a few oracle cards from different decks, and this is just going to give us a little bit more insight and further messages for your love life. So we have demonstrate love, find out what is important to those you love and act on it. So when I read the message of this card, it makes me think of like getting to know your partner's specific love language, or your partner getting to know your specific love language. So this could be, recommendation is a funny word. This could be an encouragement for you from your guides. If you feel like communication is not going so smoothly with the person you're involved with, or maybe sometimes you don't feel loved or cared for in the way that you want to, or they don't feel in the way that they want to, maybe it's worth looking into perhaps our love languages are different. This is the way that I like to receive love, but maybe it's not that they're not giving me love, it's just that they're giving me love in a way that I don't recognize. Like they're trying to use a credit card that you don't accept. What? That's the analogy that's coming to my mind, you know? Like, it's not that you're not trying to give me money, it's just that I don't take Amex or something like that. anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, hopefully. Figure out, maybe it's not that they're not giving love or you're not giving love, but just that you're kind of missing each other. Like, you're not speaking the same language. This might be something that you guys want to talk about. And I do think that you have someone in your life, or you will be manifesting someone into your life who is willing to talk about this and who is willing to, you know, be conscious of how they show love, so that they're showing it in a way that you can really receive it, you know? And it's like someone who's willing to change. And it's not about changing who they are. It's just like tweaking the way they communicate to you, or tweaking the way they show up for you, so that they know you get it. So they know that you feel safe and that you feel cared for. The next card that we have is Sweetness. I feel like I don't really need to interpret it this much. A beautiful pink card, which is a color associated with the heart chakra. We even have a heart on this card. It's just like you're manifesting somebody very, very sweet, or this is confirmation that the person you are with is very, very sweet. And I do think that this person is ready and willing to go out of their way to make you feel loved and to make you feel cared for. And for some reason, I feel specifically like saying you guys are getting more than just the bare minimum from somebody. Like, they want to go above and beyond. They want to hear your thoughts. They want to hear how you will feel the most love, so that they can respond to that. And I think with this Seven of Cups here, I think the end of the year is going to be really, really sweet for you guys. The relationship you're in is going to be very, very sweet. And it feels like some sort of honeymoon phase is happening around the second half of the year. Even if you're already with somebody, you're just entering back into it. It's like renewed sweetness, renewed passion, renewed butterflies. The next card that we have is Choice. Very, very interesting, because with the Two of Crystals here, we were talking about you guys having options. So whether you're choosing between a potential partner or choosing a future path with your current partner, there is some major choice to make in the year 2022. But I also think that this can be referring to, like, someone is choosing you, you know? Someone is choosing to make you happy. Someone is choosing to care for you, choosing to keep you in their life, you know? And then, so this card has messages on both sides. So on one side, it says encountering conflict. It's another pink card. And then on the other side, it says, I don't choose sides, I take a stand. I really like this energy. And I think this is like a realistic and sweet message at the same time. There is going to be conflict in your relationship. No matter who you're with, at some point you are going to come across some disagreement. You're going to have conflicting love languages, or you're going to have conflicting desires, conflicting ideas for the future. What upsets one person and is a big deal to one person might not upset the other person or be a big deal to the other person. Things like this happen, you know, even if someone is like the love of your life, your soulmate, it just happens because we are not clones of each other. Like, we're all different and unique, but what is important is how you overcome this conflict together. And I think a lot of the time, it's tempting to face conflicts from your ego, and it becomes this fight to prove who is right. And when you're with the right person, which you are this year very clearly, when you're with the right person, it's not about that. It's not about choosing sides. It's about taking a stand. And what you're taking a stand for is your relationship, is your connection, is preserving the loving and respectful dynamic that you have between each other. You're saying this relationship is more important than satisfying my ego, than proving myself right. And so it's not about like, I think this is important, but you don't. Well, then you should think this is important. Or like, oh, you really care about that? It's not about this kind of thing, or saying like who's right or wrong for feeling a certain way. But you come together and say, okay, we have this difference within us. Like, we process things differently or we communicate differently. So how are we going to respect and acknowledge and overcome this difference together? Okay, this is not a big deal to me, but it is to you, so I'll be more mindful. You know, things like that. It's not about proving who's right or wrong. So, and that's how you choose somebody, right? Like, you don't choose people just when it's easy. You don't choose people just because you're always on the same page. You choose them with all of the differences, with the different love language, with the different communication style. You choose to make it work. And when both people choose to make it work, it will not feel like this 10 of Wands. I feel maybe in the past, like you guys have been in this mindset, but there's other people who are like, this is just the way I am, or like, I'm always right. And if you don't like that, then, you know, like that kind of energy, which is not very productive in a in a partnership, but you know, that's the way it is sometimes. So, okay, we are going to finish off this reading with some flower petal oracle cards. These will just be messages from, let's say, your spiritual team. It could be your higher self, it could be your spirit guides, it could be the higher self of this person. So first we have Boronia. Do not fear or doubt the new paths ahead. Yeah, you guys are like moving on into a new partnership, or you're moving on to a new chapter with your partner. We have Daisy. Believe and trust in happiness. This is so sweet because there is that message of you guys being really, really happy towards the end of the year and just feeling like, oh my gosh, this can't be real. This has to be a dream. This has to be too good to be true. Believe and trust in happiness. And we also have Chrysanthemum. Be here always with willing hands and heart. Okay, so these are all the messages that I see for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you want to participate in the personal reading giveaway, but you haven't listened to the instructions and what to do if you win part of this video, there will be a timestamp in the description as well as in the pinned comment, so you can find out how to enter. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the Caribbean Calcite, this is going to be a reading all about your love life in the year 2022. So I want to do something a little bit different to start off this reading. I'm going to shuffle this deck and pull 3 cards, and then to make it a little bit more personalized, it's like I'm going to do 1 card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life. So you are trying to manifest someone new into your life, or you just met somebody, like you're at the start of things. And then I'm going to pull a card for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle. So you've been involved with somebody, or you've been in a committed relationship with somebody for quite some time. And then I will pull a card for those of you who are at the end of a cycle. So maybe you are in separation, or you just went through a breakup recently, or you have been feeling like you want to get out of a relationship, those kind of things. Of course, it will be up to you and your intuition to define where you're at in the cycle of your love life, and you are free to claim as many of these cards as you want, even all 3 of them. So even if you feel like you're at the beginning of a cycle in your love life, you might resonate with the middle or end messages, and that's totally fine. You are free to claim as many of them as you want. So let's get into it and see how this goes. I can never shuffle this deck nicely. Okay. For group 2, their love life in 2022, starting with those who are at the beginning of a cycle in their love life, we have the Six of Swords. For those of you who are at the middle of a cycle, we have the Knight of Crystals. This is the Knight of Pentacles. And for those of you who are at the end of a cycle, wow, we have the Star. Okay, so we'll go through these one by one. Remember that you are welcome to claim as many of these as you want. I just looked up and the camera timer said 222, so maybe that's an important number for some of you. Starting over here, we have the Six of Swords. For those of you who are manifesting somebody new into your life, or you have just recently manifested someone new into your life, this is a card that talks about really healthy communication in relationships. At least this is how I always interpret it. It represents things getting easier too. So if you guys are single and you're trying to manifest someone new into your life, this can be showing that in 2022, you're going to have a lot of an easier time to manifest people that you get along with. And also, I think you guys are going to be feeling a lot more confident in 2022. So, you know, it's one thing to manifest someone into your life, but then it's another thing to, you know, strike up a conversation with them and carry on the connection. And if you guys have felt a little bit shy or scared or just lacking in confidence, I feel like you're really going to be boosted in that area in 2022. Maybe that's something that you have been working on throughout this year. It's like you're going to become more comfortable talking to people, asking questions, getting to know people, feeling attractive, feeling worthy of the attention that you're receiving, feeling worthy of the affection that you're receiving. I think you're going to be feeling really good about yourself. And I think you're going to be manifesting someone into your life, or even several people into your life, honestly, if you want options, but people that you're having amazing conversations with. And one very specific message that came into my mind when I first saw this card is some of you guys are starting a connection with somebody whose mother tongue is different than you, and yet they still communicate better than like some of your exes or some of your previous love interests. Like, it was very specific like that. And you're like, okay, these people from my past have no excuse. Like, this person doesn't even speak my language as a first language, and they're still expressing how they feel better. They're still putting in more of an effort. We still get each other more. Really raising the bar, honestly. But that's maybe just for some of you. Another thing with the Six of Swords, some of you guys might be meeting a new person online, or meeting someone who is a little bit far away from you, like it's kind of a trip to go visit them. That can be another meaning of the Six of Swords, because it does have to do with taking a trip, and swords just often make me think of like online stuff for some reason. But whatever the case may be, new connections with really amazing communication. You feel very comfortable. You feel very confident. You feel very understood. So this is really nice energy. For those of you who have already been involved with somebody for quite some time, you're already in a committed relationship, or you've been progressing in like one specific connection for quite some time. The Knight of Crystals, or the Knight of Pentacles, simply put, it's just showing us that things are going to continue to move forward steadily and consistently. So if things are going well with your partner, they're going to continue to go well. If you are working through issues with your person, you're going to continue to work through them. This can be an energy that takes a little bit of effort. Like, you have to put work into the partnership to make it work, but it is worth it at the end of the day. It is fulfilling at the end of the day. One thing that I will say about this Knight of Crystals is that I see things continuing to advance at the same pace as they always have. And, you know, whether that's good or bad news, I guess it depends on your current situation. But like, if you're with someone and you're happy with the way things are progressing, like you're happy with the speed at which things are progressing, then that speed is going to maintain itself. But if you've been feeling like things are moving kind of slow with a specific person that you're thinking about, then I think that things are going to continue to move slowly like that. Basically, I don't see any like acceleration. I don't see any like crazy breakthroughs. I see something like chugging along slowly but steadily. So again, I feel like this might be mixed. Like for some of you, you're happy to hear that. For others of you, it might be like, ugh, because maybe you feel like impatient or you feel frustrated with somebody. But the Knight of Pentacles, as you guys might know, is the slowest moving knight, and it can show someone who really likes to take things slow, who likes to think things through, who is pretty cautious. They can be more on the reserved or more on the conservative side. So I just feel kind of a slower moving energy if you guys are already involved with somebody. So it's just something to keep in mind. I definitely think it would be a worthwhile connection, but if you guys happen to be looking for something that's a bit faster, a bit more exciting, then this could definitely be a frustrating energy. It just depends on your like perception, you know? And then for the final energy, the energy if you're at the end of a cycle in your love life, we have the Star here. So what the Star really, really wants to tell you guys is that your wildest wishes and dreams are coming true. So this is going to be pretty personal, I think, because, you know, there's some people who, and I've learned this like for myself when I do readings, there's some people, if they get a reading, your ex is coming back, they're like, oh, fuck my life. But if they get some other people, if they get that same reading, they're really, really hopeful and they're really, really excited. So I'm going to say that this is very personal. Whatever your wish is with regards to your separation, whatever your wish is with regards to your relationship ending, that's what the Star is talking about, because the Star is something that you've been longing for, that you've been yearning for, that you've been, you know, wishing it's going to be true. And it finally is true and you can hardly believe it. It's that kind of bliss that I see with the Star card. So if you guys are in separation and you've really, really, really been wanting a reunion, then this is what the Star is talking about for you. If you've been wanting this motherfucker to leave you alone and you've been wanting to meet somebody new, then that's what you're getting with the Star. So again, it's based on what you want. It's based on how you're feeling. I really wanted, you know, this part of the reading to be kind of more personalized. So please feel free to claim one or many of the messages as it fits to your situation. But with that, I'm going to move on to the next deck. And so with this deck, we're going to get a series of events throughout the year. I'm not going to give exact time frames of when each thing is happening, but I'm going to lay out 4 cards and you can think of like, you know, over on this side is the beginning of the year, over on this side is the end of the year, and this is the middle kind of thing. In chronological order. Okay. So for group 2, what can group 2 expect in their love life in the year 2022? We have the Sun, and then we have the Emperor, we have the 8 of Diamonds. This is the 8 of Pentacles. And then we have Temperance. Okay, there's a lot of fire sign. There is a lot of fire sign energy coming through here because we literally have all the fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So maybe many of you are going to be involved with the fire sign. And now I'm thinking, did group 1 have Major Arcana 2? And I forgot to say, no, I don't think they did. No, they didn't. Okay. Phew. I thought recently I've been forgetting to name zodiac signs when I see them, but we're good. And I'm using just Major Arcana. We also have Aquarius here with the stars. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, these could be significant zodiac signs of the person or people that you guys are involved with this year. So we're starting off here with the Sun. This is a very fun, exciting energy. There is a lot of passion here too, because the sun is ruled by Leo. This is related to the 5th house, which is like pleasure and sex. And then Leo energy is like feeling really good about yourself, feeling really confident. I see you guys in a fun, loving, and carefree energy in the beginning of the year. And I think it matches really well with the 6 of Swords energy that we were talking about, just feeling really, really confident in yourself and feeling really confident in your connections. I think you guys are going to be with somebody or meeting somebody who is very, very funny, who you feel like you can just let loose with. You don't have to think so much about what you do or say. You can just be authentically you. This is also making me think of inner child, because Leo and 5th house energy does relate to children. And of course we have a little baby here. So, some of you guys at the beginning of the year, you might feel that your inner child is starting to emerge or really, really wants to come out. And I talk about this sometimes, but this can kind of be, maybe a double-edged sword is the right word, or, like a bittersweet experience. On one hand, there's this childlike wonder, the fun, loving, and playful side that comes out. Maybe your passion is sparked up again. You start to engage in activities and hobbies, things that you used to love doing when you were younger, but then, you grew up and life got a little bit dull, and it's like you're getting back to that excitement again. But on the other hand, your inner child emerging, it can also come with some pain. If your inner child has been harboring painful memories, if your inner child has been unfairly treated, unfairly suppressed and knocked down, then your inner child awakening can be accompanied by pain. And I think for most of us, it's not a black or white thing, because we've had complex experiences. So I think this inner child emerging could be bittersweet. A connection that you're in might be really, really calling out your inner child in some good ways and in some more painful ways. But I do see you guys working through everything, because it's like you're honoring your inner child. You want all of your inner child to be seen and to be integrated. So you're gonna let that freaking inner child shine for all of its dreams, for all of its wounds, for everything. You're just like, boom, you're bursting it all open. If you think of the sun is like exposed. The sun is transparent. You're bearing all of yourself to somebody. So I see a lot of openness at the beginning of the year, regardless of what stage you're at in a relationship. At the beginning of the year, something is bursting open. Like you're not hiding anymore. You're being authentically you. And I think that most of you guys will be with somebody who's gonna, receive that energy and who's going to reciprocate that energy. And also there's that message about passion and pleasure and sex and things of that nature. So this could also be indicating you guys being in a very enjoyable sexual relationship, or you have a very strong physical attraction, physical compatibility with somebody. If you are not a sexual person, then you might be meeting someone that you have a shared passion with. So then when you're together, you get really, really excited and giddy. Like when you meet somebody who likes the same things as you, and you can just like fangirl with them, or fan person with them, and get really, really like, oh my god, you like that too, da, 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 da. And you can just talk for a million years, whereas you can't maybe do that with other people most of the time. Really, no matter what your case is, you're being exposed, you're being open, you're being free. That's really, really what I see with the sun. If you are a creative person, you could be involved with somebody who really, really inspires you to make stuff. Like if you're a writer, you meet this person and you have so many ideas to write about after meeting them, based on the conversations you have, or just based on, honestly, they just inspire you by them existing. Or you could be involved with somebody who is creative and they are making stuff about you, making stuff inspired by you. So this is what I see with the Sun. And then moving on here, we have the Emperor. So one thing that I will say, and I think that this is information, simultaneously like information and guidance. You are going to be involved with someone who is pretty independent and who is pretty confident. And I think if there's any guidance for you here, if you're getting involved with somebody, make sure that you maintain your independence and make sure that you keep doing your own thing. With the Emperor, I think there's some, and I don't even know if it's necessarily a warning message, but like, don't give up too much of yourself or too much of your life or too much of your plans for this person. Like, maintain your strength, maintain your independence. If I can give a couple of examples, and again, like, I'm not saying you're going to do any of these things, but maybe it's just a couple people who need to hear this example or that example. But like, you meet somebody and then you're not hanging out with your own friends as much and you're just hanging out with them and their friends, and then the relationship with your friends starts to deteriorate. Or if you're long distance, like, you know, making the decision suddenly of, oh, I'm gonna go and live with them, like I'm gonna go where they are, and kind of throwing away the things that you've been working on in your own life. Or if you're having a relationship with someone and you had your own plans and then they text you like, what are you doing right now? To not throw away your plans to go see them because you're like, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna get to see them again. It's like, maintain your independence, maintain your strength, keep doing your own thing. I guess don't get lost in this person, I guess is what I want to say. If maybe just some of you, again, maybe just some of you need to hear that guidance, but like, don't get carried away or don't get lost in this person. I'm not saying this person is going to drop you or they're not reliable or something like that, but they very much have their own thing going too. So you have to maintain your own life going so that, you know, if they ever become unavailable or if they ever become busy in some way, you're not at a loss of like, what do I do now? You know, like you just have, it's not a big deal if they can't show up all the time. You have your own stuff going. You can take care of yourself. I just think for some of you, it's going to be important to maintain that independence. But the Emperor is a very stable and sturdy energy. And I think of it as somebody who is not going anywhere. So if you guys are involved with somebody or if you've just met somebody new, they really have the potential to stay in your life in the long term. And it's interesting because the Emperor is also a double-edged sword in the same way that the Sun is, because it's like, yes, I'm not going anywhere in the sense of I'm not gonna abandon you, I'm not gonna lose interest in you, I'm not gonna leave you, but also I'm not going anywhere in a hurry. So like, I'm also not gonna be rushing the connection. I'm not gonna be like rushing to move in together, rushing to get married, rushing to move to the next level. This is like a slow and steady pace. This is a slow and steady pace. And for those of you who are in a connection, if you feel yourself getting like frustrated or triggered or upset by anything that this person is doing or not doing, or the progress or lack thereof, whatever it is, it may be useful to turn to your inner child. It may be useful to reflect on your childhood, because maybe some wound is being triggered, some painful memory is being triggered. Because what I'm seeing for the most part is that you guys are very safe in this connection, like you're in very, very good hands, but some alarms are going off, like I'm not safe, or this isn't going to work out. And it's something from your childhood that is like rearing its head. Maybe there was some abandonment or some rejection or some unfair treatment that is being triggered. But I think that you can safely work through that within this connection. We have the Eight of Pentacles here. Whoever you're involved with, they're a very dedicated person. Like they're dedicated to everything that they do. I think this is somebody who has a pretty well-rounded life. So they're very serious about their work, and they're very serious about their alone time, and they're very serious about their friendships and family, and they're very serious about you. And this is someone who is working to strike a good balance in their life. But what I can see with the Eight of Pentacles is that this is someone who is very willing to put in the necessary work to find happiness, to make this connection work. It just might be at like a different speed than you, or they might balance out the priorities in their life a little bit differently than you. And I think what you're learning in this connection is that this doesn't mean that the connection is doomed just because every single little thing is not as you predict, or is not going exactly how you planned. There is some lesson within this connection like that, but you guys need to know that you're safe here, that you are secure here, that this is someone who's going to put in the work. This is someone who's going to move slowly and surely to a stable future. We also have Temperance here, so there is pretty strong counterpart energy coming through. Not only do we have Temperance, we also have the Star, and those are both like telltale signs for me of a spiritual connection. Temperance is two people who balance each other out. So they definitely have some differences, and how they will experience this connection and how they will prevail in this connection, it really depends. Like, are you willing to pour a little bit of me in you? And are you willing to pour a little bit of you in me? Are we willing to learn from each other? Are we willing to yield to each other? Or are we just going to stay stubbornly in our own cups? It's almost like sister sign energy. I don't know if, like, maybe some of you guys are involved with someone who's like your opposite sign, your sister sign. But it's someone who is different from you, and that can either challenge you to grow and learn, or it can just frustrate you. And it just depends on where you're at. But it's like yin and yang too. There is a way that yin and yang can complement each other. There is a way that yin and yang can coexist. And probably you already have a little bit of this person in you, and this person already has a little bit of you in them. And you just have to acknowledge that part of each other that is within you. There's a lot of opportunity for growth here. There's a lot of opportunity for self-discovery here. You can really, really strike a nice balance with this person. You can really, really complement each other. Temperance is also, like it's an encouragement to not get carried away with really strong emotions. And I think there was a little bit of a message of that earlier on here. Like, in order for this connection to work, there's a need to stabilize yourself. There's a need to stabilize your emotions, balance your emotions, to not get carried away in like an intense roller coaster of emotions. Maybe some of you guys are learning, it's like you're learning not to make assumptions. You're learning not to make assumptions, to take things at face value, and to not jump to conclusions and make all of these stories in your head of like, oh, this person is falling out of love with me, this person is ignoring me, this person doesn't like me, this person is mad at me. Which again, might be things from childhood where when somebody was behaving a certain way, that was the case. But we can't just copy and paste what happened in one connection to every other connection. It's like you have to take this case by case. You have to take what this person says to you at face value. Like, if they tell you they're busy, then it means they're busy, kind of thing. That's just one example, but it's like to not project your past experiences onto this connection. I think that's something that's important to learn, and I think that's something that will guarantee or that will really help the success of this connection. And I often think of Temperance as like a mature old soul as well. So I think that both of you can mature a lot within this connection too. So let's take a look at your oracle cards now. We have a few oracle cards from different decks. The first one is Ask for Help, and I just noticed we have the number 14 repeating itself because Temperance is also the number 14, so that might be an important number for you guys. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support. We also have Sadness. So if I put these two together, I think you guys need to learn to open up about how you're really feeling. I think many of you guys have maybe learned to just suppress when you're feeling sad, suppress when you're not feeling satisfied, suppress when you're not feeling heard. Some of you guys, and I really, really feel for you if this is the case, it's like you've internalized this idea of like, if I'm sad, it doesn't matter, or like I shouldn't even bring this up because it doesn't matter anyway. And I feel for you because this is something that I have been through as well. And again, there's this message of like, you're learning to not make assumptions about how this person feels or about how your potential partner or your partner feels based on things from the past. Take the time to open up, take the time to really learn about them and where they are coming from, and to not just paint people with the same brush. I think if you open up to this person, whether it's positive or negative, it will be received, but you need to be very, very honest. You need to be very honest about how you're truly feeling. This is, honestly, this could be hard. Like, these are hard lessons to learn, but I think it's so worth it. Like, for the connection that you're in, it's very few people who can light you up like this, who can inspire you like this, who can make you feel passionate like this, who can make you laugh. And I think you're not doing anyone any favors to pretend it's all sunshine like this, or that things aren't bothering you. And it's like you're making assumptions about how this person feels, and then you're internalizing that and getting upset about it and not opening up about it. Whereas if you opened up about it, they would be able to tell you, no, that's not my intention. That's not how I actually feel. It's like you're getting upset about things by yourself. That's kind of how it feels. Like, they behaved this way. I'm assuming this means that they don't care about me, and I'm going to get upset about it, but I'm not going to tell them because they won't care. This is the kind of pattern that I see. Whereas if you were to open up and say like, hey, when you did this, it made me feel like XYZ, they can realize like, holy shit, that was not how I meant to make you feel. And then they have a chance to explain themselves, and you have a chance to see like, oh, this person is different. This person is different from the person I dealt with in my past, or the people from my childhood. There's an opportunity to open up, and there's an opportunity to heal. And many of you guys have not realized maybe, or it will be difficult to realize, like, the dedication of this person and the willingness to work on the connection. Because like, it's almost like by closing down or shutting down, that's how you say it, by shutting down, you're not giving them the opportunity to come in and do that work with you. So we're learning not to shut down when we're sad. We're learning not to keep that to ourselves. We're learning not to assume that we're not going to get help, or that this person isn't going to care. We're learning not to assume how they must feel about you. We're going to talk about it. We're going to ask them. We're going to work on it together. So yeah, it's an opportunity for open communication and a lot of growth, and especially a lot of healing your inner child. We also have Make. This card is making me think of the expression like, it takes a village to, I don't know what the actual end of that expression is. Maybe it's used for many different things, you know, but it takes a village to make this. It takes a village to make that. Like, it takes many people to make your happiness. We all need the support of somebody else. We all need the validation of somebody else. And I know we talk about a lot in the spiritual community, like your happiness has to come from within, your self-love has to come from within. And while there is truth to that, that doesn't happen in a vacuum, and I think it's disingenuous to talk about it like it does. And I worry that I may have contributed to that in the past, like just saying, oh, you need to do it yourself, it needs to come from within. But we need that external support and validation. We're literally, like, we're humans. We need human connection. We need community. We need love. We need we need to socialize. You guys know what I mean. We need that connection with other people. And it's okay to say, like, I'm sad, help me understand why I'm sad. I'm sad, help me not be sad. We don't have to go through it all on our own. But yes, I guess in a way it comes from, you need to love and respect yourself enough to validate your own feeling so that you put it out there so that somebody else can validate it. I think this is how you guys, like, it starts with you building your confidence. It starts with you building your self-love. And then you come to a place where you really feel like, yeah, my emotions deserve to be heard. The good and the bad and all of it. They deserve to be talked about, because you can't heal things without talking about them. When you put it into words, you understand it better. And when you bounce it off somebody and when you talk it through, that's how you get it out of your system. That's how you release it. So we gotta learn how to talk about our feelings. And then for your last card, we have deconstructing doubt. Only my beliefs are in my way. So yeah, I'm not gonna like explain it again and again, but this group, we have got to stop making assumptions about how people feel or how people will react, and just say what we need to say and give them a chance to show us how they're going to react, how they're going to feel about it. And you know what? I am going to say it again. There's potential for an amazing connection here. So we are going to finish off this reading with some flower petal oracle cards. These will be messages from your spiritual team. It could be your higher self. It could be your spirit guides. It could be this person's higher self. Jasmine, success will be found if you hold on to hope. We also have Baronia. Oh, group 1 got this too. Do not fear or doubt the new paths ahead. And okay, so 2 want to come out. Snowdrop, tomorrow brings the illumination of your hopes. And Rose, you are divinely loved and protected with grace. So these are your last messages. This is everything I see for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you guys want to participate in the personal reading giveaway, but you haven't listened to the instructions and what to do if you win part of this video, there will be a timestamp in the description as well as in the pinned comment that you can go to and see how you can enter. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the rose quartz, This is going to be a reading all about your love life in the year 2022. So I want to do things a little bit differently today, just to make things a bit more personalized. I'm going to start off this reading by shuffling this deck and pulling 3 cards. I'm going to pull 1 card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life. So maybe you are trying to manifest someone new, or you have just met somebody new and you're curious about how that's going to go. I'm also going to pull a card for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle in your love life. So maybe you have been in a relationship with someone for quite some time, or you have been involved with somebody for quite some time and wondering how things will progress. And then I'm also going to pull a card for those of you who are at the end of a cycle in your love life. So maybe you are in a separation, maybe you just got out of a breakup, maybe you feel like you are wanting to get out of a relationship. So those will be the 3 cards I pull at the start. Of course, it is up to you how you want to define where you're at in the cycle of your love life, and you are very much welcome to claim several or all of the messages that come up here. You might feel like you're at the beginning of a cycle in your love life, but you resonate with the middle or the end message, and that's totally fine. You're welcome to claim as many of them as you like. So let's get into it for group number 3 and see what your love life has in store for you in 2022. So we are going to start with those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle. And we have the Ace of Crystals. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. And I feel like I have not seen this image that often because it's really standing out to me. It's really pretty. I think I don't get this card that much. Okay, I really like the energy though. For those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, we have 2 cards coming out at the same time. Wow, we have the Knight of Swords and the Chariot. So 2 cards with a very similar energy. And then, actually no, let's put them like this. I feel like that looks nicer. And then for those of you who are at the end of a cycle in your love life, we have the 10 of Wands. Okay. So, where should I put this? Okay, so we're going to start off for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle. So this message is for those of you who have just met somebody or who are trying to manifest somebody new into your life. The Ace does represent a new beginning. It can also represent offers coming to you. As you guys might know, in the Rider-Waite, for example, in all of the Aces, we see that like a hand is coming out with the thing. How do I explain that better? Like in the Ace of Pentacles, a hand is coming out to offer you a pentacle. Or in the Ace of Wands, a hand is holding a wand. So this can represent somebody offering something to you. If you guys are trying to manifest somebody into your life, this is a very, very good sign that someone is manifesting. I would also like to say with the Pentacles, there's very strong energy of you meeting this person in person in the 3D, because Pentacles is associated with the element of earth. So it's always making me think of things that are grounded in this 3D reality, things that are tangible, things that are real. Not that spiritual things are not real, but it's like you can see it right in front of you. It's really there. It's concrete. So this is not just you guys manifesting a spiritual connection with somebody, manifesting somebody's energy, manifesting a dream about them. This is you manifesting the actual, like the actual physical person in the flesh. I also think this would be indicating you guys meeting someone in person as opposed to online. Like you're likely going to meet this new person when you're out living your life and you're going to meet them in the flesh. This is the kind of energy that I'm feeling. And actually, for those of you who have been, connected to somebody energetically, you're like, I know they're out there, I dream about them, but I haven't met them in the 3D yet. This Ace of Pentacles is actually a really good sign that you will be meeting this person in the 3D in 2022. The Ace of Pentacles also talks about things that are, and I've just never found quite the right word for it, but I think I've settled on sustainable, like something that can be continued for a long time. Like like a sustainable exercise plan would be one that you can actually keep up, you know, because it's realistic and because it makes you feel good. Please let me know if there's a better word for it, because sustainable is not really the, the best word for it. But when it comes to relationships, it represents something that is not just easy come, easy go, not someone who's just, you know, in it for the short term, or someone who's just in it when it's easy and fun and convenient. You know, it's someone who's willing to offer you something reliable, someone who's willing to offer you something serious. So this is the kind of new beginning that is coming to you guys if you are at the beginning of a cycle in your relationship. And also, sorry, there's one more interpretation. If you guys are looking to meet somebody new, it might be a job offer that is leading you to this person, because the Ace of Pentacles can also talk about job offers, new opportunities to make money, business plans and things like that. So some new beginning in your career as well could be leading to you meeting somebody. Now, over here, we have, for the middle cycle people, we have two cards that are very, very similar in energy, because they both talk about speed, things progressing really quickly. We have the Chariot and we have the Knight of Swords. The first thing that I want to say is that if you have been involved with someone and things have been moving pretty slowly, then there will be a breakthrough in this connection and things will move forward positively. The Chariot represents, you know, making progress. It represents victory. It can also represent recognition. So some of you guys, this could indicate you becoming official with somebody if you're not already, like you've been involved with them for a long time and now you are official, meaning, you know, you're an item, everybody knows. Or if you are currently in a committed relationship with somebody, you might be reaching a new level with them that is going to be recognized and celebrated by the people in your life. Like it's something you share with your family and friends. Like, my partner and I are going to do this. Oh, that's so amazing. We're so happy for you. It's, you know, something like that is coming up that you're so excited and you want to share it with your loved ones. Some of you guys might be moving with your partner, whether you're moving in together or moving somewhere else, because the Chariot does depict a lot of movement. Unicorns always make me think of our weirdness, our uniqueness, you know, embracing what makes us unique and different. So maybe once you guys start to reveal your truest colors to each other, that's what helps this relationship really, really accelerate. You just start to become more and more comfortable with each other. Also, I think here we have, you know, Swords, which represents communication, Chariot, which represents our intuition. I think if you're involved with someone or dating someone, your bond is deepening in 2022. To the point where you are so intuitively tapped into each other that a lot of times words are just not necessary. Doesn't mean you're not going to communicate, but like words are not so necessary to know how the other person is feeling, where the other person is at. You just know. You finish each other's sentences, you pick up on their emotions so well. It's this kind of energy that I see you guys cultivating together. Now, if you are involved with somebody and you feel like they've been holding back, then some floodgates are opening here. I often think of the Knight of Swords as a dumping of sorts, where it's like there's so much that somebody has wanted to tell you and now it's finally all like like tumbling out. You can think of it as like they're word vomiting everything that they had to say to you. And with the Chariot here, Cancer energy, it could be a lot of emotion that is coming out. Many of you guys, if you're involved with someone, it's like you still don't realize the extent of how deep this person's emotions are. Like not just towards you, but in general. Like this person is a lot more sensitive than you realize just yet. This person is a lot more soft and squishy than you realize just yet. They have a vast depth of emotion that I think they're going to be tapping into in 2022, and they're going to be pouring out. I was going to say pouring all over you. And, you know, for some people, this can be very, very welcome. And for other people, it could be, you know, welcome, but also overwhelming, because it's like, now I have to process all of this stuff that you just said to me. But it's like there's a big breakthrough and emotions are pouring out. This is the kind of energy I see for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle. So over here, this is for those of you who are at the end of a cycle in your relationship, and we have the 10 of Wands. Now, it's really interesting to me that we have two people in this card. Usually we would just see one person carrying a bunch of sticks on their back, and it's also very interesting to me that they are mirroring each other. If you're in a separation, or if you have gone through a breakup, I feel like you and the other party are both feeling like there is some sort of unfinished business. Like there is something that you wanted to get off your chest. And in this case, like the burden that we see in the 10 of Wands, I think this is talking about something that you want to get off your chest. Now, this can really be anything. It is a general reading, so it will depend on your situation. Maybe what you want to get off your chest to this person is, I miss you. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Or maybe you want to get off your chest a question, like, tell me, why did you do this? Why did you behave this way? Or why did things end up this way? Maybe some of you want to let him have it. Like, and one other thing, this really pissed me off, you know? Like, it's just, something feels like it was cut off prematurely, and I feel like many of you guys who are at the end of a cycle might not really feel like you got closure. But what's really important to note about the 10 of Wands in this deck, it's a meaning that I don't see in most other decks, is that this feeling is reciprocated. Usually 10 of Wands gives me an unreciprocated feeling, but because we have two people who are mirroring each other here, it's like you both want to talk again, or you both want to see each other again. And I don't know, like, you know your situation better than me, so whether that's because you want to get back together, or because you just have questions, you're confused about the way the other behaved, or you just want to chew each other out or whatever. Is that what you call it? Like, I'm going to chew you out, I'm going to let you have it, I'm going to go off on you, whatever it is. That will be up to you. But this feeling that you have of like, this isn't over, I still want to say this and that, that person feels exactly the same way, and they have that like same emotion. So I think that there could be an opportunity, if you've come to the end of a cycle, to, you know, reunite with that person and say what you need to say. Some of you guys, this could be somebody that you haven't seen. Oh my gosh, okay, yeah. So some of you guys, you are in the process of manifesting your soulmate, your twin flame, you know, your forever person, however you want to label them. And one of the signs that this person is almost here is that somebody from your past is going to return. It might seem like out of the blue, and they're either going to explain something to you, or apologize to you, or forgive you. And then it finally feels like that chapter is closed. The 10 is about completion, cycles ending and beginning. So it's almost like old chapters are closing in preparation for this new partner to come in. So if you guys are trying to manifest your soulmate, and then like out of nowhere, your ex from 5 years ago messages you and is like, no hard feelings, I'm sorry for this and I forgive you for that. And you know, like you finish the unfinished business. That's like your higher self preparing for the new cycle to begin. Of course, some of you, like this person who comes back, might actually be the person you want to get back with. That's of course up to you, but yeah, just some unfinished business is finishing here, and it's really like both people have been feeling burdened by that. All right, so let's move on to the next tarot deck. So I'm going to take a few cards and lay them out in a row, and this will be like a succession, like events in chronological order within your love life in 2022. I'm not going to be giving exact time frames for when each thing is happening, but basically you can think of it as like the cards over on this side are at the beginning of the year, and the cards over on this side are at the end of the year. Okay, so let's see. For group number 3, we have the 5 of crystals and we have the 10 of crystals. So this is a, oh, there it is. This is a repeating card. I think this is the first group that has repetition like this. And I'm gonna keep these together actually. We also have the Hanged Man. We have the 10 of diamonds. This is the 10 of pentacles. And then we have the 3 of swords at the end. Okay, so in terms of zodiac signs that you guys could be dealing with in the year 2022, we did have Cancer energy up here. And then we also have Pisces energy here. And the Knight of Swords, it can be indicating an air sign. I haven't been using Quartz cards in the other groups, but I felt like mentioning that. So we have Cancer, Pisces, and air sign energy here. That can be a confirmation for those of you who have somebody in mind who is under those signs, or maybe you have those signs. But let's start over here. So we have the 5 of crystals and we have the 10 of crystals. So I feel like whatever stage you guys are at in your relationships, whether like someone new is just coming in or you've been with someone for some time, this is making me think of something from the past is resurfacing. And this is going to happen around the beginning of the year. Now, how can I describe it? It's like something from a past relationship, whether it be romantic or not, that maybe you never fully processed and that has been suppressed. Let's say this is just an example, so it's like hypothetical, but just to illustrate what I see here. Let's say that there's somebody who has been cheated on before, and when they look back, when things first started to feel, oh, something's different with my partner, it was that they started to, come home later than usual. They would say like, oh, I got held up at work or something. And that was their first sign of, okay, something's different about them. And then over time, it was revealed that their partner was cheating on them. They kind of, push that memory aside, and then they get into a new relationship. And they might feel that they're like totally over what's happened in the past. But then this new person that they're dating is like, sorry, I'm going to be home late because I got held up at work. Almost like it's deja vu of the exact same thing. And it's going to be, I think, very difficult. On one hand, like this old wound is coming up. You thought you were healed from this and it's back and you have to deal with it. But also it's going to be difficult to not like project what happened in your past relationship onto the new one. And I think there's going to be that, like, your ego wants to say like, oh my gosh, this is the same thing happening, like this person is cheating on me. But then there's also that rational part that says, just because this is the same thing happening, it doesn't mean that this person has the same intentions. It doesn't mean that this person is lying. And then there's this other part of you that's like, oh shit, do I have trust issues now? And I think that's what the 5 of crystals or the 5 of wands is representing here. I very much think that this is an inner conflict sort of thing, because I think of it as like, in your mind where you have one voice that's saying this and one voice that's saying this and then one voice is coming in here and it's all like jumbled up. Like one part of you jumps to the conclusion and then another part of you says like, no, let's be rational about this. And the other part says, oh shit, there's things that we need to heal that haven't healed. And then one part of you says, we're supposed to have faith and trust our intuition. And then it gets very, very confusing. So I feel like something in your relationship is going to remind you of a bad thing that happened to you in your past, and it's going to make you very confused. If I'm being honest, like 5 of wands and 10 of wands is not an easy energy. I think, and I'm kind of going off how the 10 of wands earlier was talking about unfinished business, but here this is a burden that you're carrying by yourself, and this is leading me to believe that It's not, whatever you're worried about with your current person is not what's really happening, but you're still carrying that burden from your past that sort of colors your new experiences with this scared hue or this doubtful hue. And there's going to be a lot of inner conflict. And if some of you guys did bring it up to this person, it could lead to outer conflict, because Five of Crystals also talks about like fights and arguments, and I could see it even as like defensiveness. So there might be a little bit of a messy energy at the beginning of the year where someone jumps to conclusions because of a past wound and, you know, blames or accuses the other person of something. The other person gets defensive, and, you know, it can be a kind of difficult energy like this. But with the Hanged Man here, this is Pisces energy. Pisces energy is very, very sensitive. And I think that maybe both you and the person that you're involved with are very, very sensitive, and sometimes that can lead to you guys butting heads. Like, if your sensitivity is stepped on or their sensitivity is stepped on, things could kind of get blown up. But the Hanged Man is all about gaining a new perspective. It's about gaining new wisdom. And I honestly, like, this is a lot of fiery energy, so it could be some heated arguments, or people's feelings might be getting hurt here. But with the Hanged Man, that's all about gaining a new perspective. I think that this can be moved past. Like, this is not anything that is going to ruin the relationship. Whichever message you resonated with here, like, we have someone who's in it for the long run, who's loyal, who's reliable. We have someone who's willing to talk about their feelings, who's opening up about their vulnerability. Like, whichever one of these you resonated with, I know that this is going to be okay. It might be scary at first when things get heated and when past pains are triggered, but I know that you guys can communicate through it. You'll gain a new perspective on each other. You'll gain a deeper understanding of each other. And I think the Hanged Man is also about, and there's like a similar message in a different group, like, you're not going anywhere with the Hanged Man. This is like, you're staying where you are. You're hanging out here until you work things out. And if you guys have had in the past, like, partners or love interests who just, like, bounced when things got difficult, this is not the type of person that you are dealing with. Things might get a little bit emotional at times, but you can always work through it together. I think this is what the Hanged Man is showing. With a little bit of patience, with a little bit of willingness to put yourself in the other person's shoes and to understand the other person, you can work through any conflicts that you have. You can heal any wounds that you can have and come to a place where you really, really feel safe with each other. Because next to this, now we have the Ten of Pentacles. So this is about building a solid foundation for long-term happiness. I think that maybe around the second half of the year, this is when you're going to start talking about long-term plans with the person that you are involved with. So maybe this is like the phase where you are just seeing each other, or the phase where, if this is like the phase where you are seeing each other, this would be where you start to talk about getting into a serious relationship. Or if this already, like where you're at in your love life, if this is already you guys are dating and in a relationship, this might be where you guys start to talk about, taking the next step, whether that's like moving in or meeting each other's families or whatever it might be for you guys. Towards the second half of the year, you will start to see that building up. And this is where you start to get a sense of what your long-term future is going to be like. This is where you start to feel really, really safe and secure. Within the Ten of Pentacles, this is loyalty, this is trust, this is somebody you can rely on, somebody who's always going to be there for you. This is someone who's going to provide for you. And actually, we had that message. I don't know if you claimed it, but it's not too late. You can still claim it. We had that message at the start of the reading about like somebody's getting a job offer. The Chariot's also about victory. So maybe you guys are starting to make some good money around the second half of the year, you or the person you're involved with, or even both of you. And this is when you kind of start to live the good life together. And actually, one of the messages that is coming here too is that as your financial situation starts to improve, as you start to feel more secure, as you start to feel really confident about the work that you're doing and feeling really sure of yourself, this might take some strain off of the relationship. So maybe there were some arguments about finances, or if somebody's job wasn't going well, maybe they felt insecure and then they took that out on the other person. There's something about like, as your professional and material and financial life starts to improve, your relationship starts to improve as well, because you just have more you have more peace, you have more security. For some of you guys, taking the next step in your relationship might be getting a pet together, because we do have like dogs here, and then this like older person that could be like you guys are meeting each other's parents. Did I just say parrots? Molly the parrot is going crazy upstairs, and I was just about to mention it, so I think that was like, is it called a Freudian slip? You're meeting each other's parrots. Maybe you're meeting each other's pets or something like that. Where was I? Molly distracted me. So with a little bit of patience and understanding, whoever you are involved with, you can build a really, really, really solid foundation together. There's another message here, and maybe this is kind of bittersweet, but I feel like this is a phase in the relationship where the passion and excitement sort of starts to die down. It's like you go from being these excited, like imagine excited, youthful high school sweethearts who can't get their hands off each other, and now you're just like chill adults. You know what I mean? So it can be kind of bittersweet. Maybe there's a little bit of feeling like, oh, I miss when we were this like passionate, but then you kind of remember, oh yeah, when we were that passionate, we were also getting our feelings hurt all the time, and we were also arguing and stuff. So I think you're going from like this kind of energy to just like things are good, things are chilled, things are comfortable. And that's not to say that you're never gonna have like passion again, but it's just the baseline of your relationship seems to have really, really calmed down. You guys seem to have matured a lot. Your work is going well. Maybe you're more focused on that. But yes, this is the energy that I see towards the second half of the year. Now we do have the Three of Swords towards the end of the year. This can be kind of a scary card to end on, because it does talk about sadness, heartbreak, something like that. So maybe one of you guys is going through something a little bit challenging in your life, and you know, you have to lean on this other person, or this other person has to lean on you. I think I'm going to take a clarifier for this Three of Swords, because I know that it can be a little bit concerning. Let's see what this Three of Swords is referring to. Can you clarify what the Three of Swords is talking about? And I'm being called to take two to clarify. So we have the Page of Crystals. Oh, we have the Eight of Diamonds, which is the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Nine of Crystals, which is the Nine of Wands. Okay, so this is actually a pretty clear message. I was starting to get the idea with the Page of Crystals, but now that the Eight of Diamonds has come out, this is pretty straightforward. So, you know, there's been this little message weaving its way through the reading that both of you guys are doing well in your careers. Both of you guys are focused on your careers. You're victorious. Like, just as you're starting to talk about your long-term plans together, one of you guys is going to get an amazing job opportunity, because we have the Eight of Pentacles here, so this is definitely related to work. Page of Wands is about a new adventure, a new project. One of you guys is going to get an amazing job opportunity, but it might require you I think for many of you guys, this is like, it requires you to go somewhere else, because we have sadness here, you know? So I can't think of anything else where it's like your significant other gets a job offer and it makes you sad, unless it's like one of you will have to give something up. So this can play out in many different ways, depending, and it's, you know, it's all based on your own free will. We have the 9 of Crystals, which is like having to put on a brave face or not wanting to let go of how far you've come. So some ways that this could play out is the person who gets the offer has to move and their partner agrees to move with them. But then the partner who moves with them is sad because they have to say goodbye to friends and family, or is sad because they have to give up something about their job or their life. Then someone is sad. Or one partner gets an opportunity, but then they choose to turn it down so that they can stay with their partner. They're happy that they're with their partner, but then they're sad that they have to turn down the opportunity. Or there could also be the outcome where neither person wants to compromise. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to stay here, and it becomes a long distance situation. Or you may even make the decision to end the relationship. It's really, really up to you guys. So I'm not going to say this is like a prediction of what's going to happen. Because there's so many ways to go about that predicament, but I do think that's a possible predicament that would come at the end of the year. And this 9 of Crystals is like, again, it's like not wanting to give up on how far you've come. And so there's this sort of conflict where on one hand, I don't want to give up this relationship, but I also don't want to give up my goals. I also don't want to give up this, this career, this name that I've been establishing for myself, or I don't want to give up living close to my friends. But it's like there's something that has to be sacrificed. Like somebody has to take a blow, so to speak. Someone has to give something up. And it's up to you guys, I guess, like who will have to do the compromising, or who will have to give something up, or what you have to give up. But one or both people, I think, would end up sad about the outcome. That's not to say it's like a sad ending, because it could just be a matter of time before you're happy again, before you've made peace with the way things happen, before you're even saying, I'm glad things turned out this way because I really like my new life. This definitely does not mean that your relationship is doomed to be sad, but, honestly, in the moment, of course, you're going to have some emotional turmoil, and it can be mixed feelings, right? Like, I'm so happy that I got this offer, or I'm so happy for my partner for getting this offer, but I know that things have to change now. And, this 10 of Pentacles, these long-term plans that we were talking about and getting so happy about, like, things are going to be different, It's that kind of energy. So I guess it's a bit of a bittersweet note to end on, but I just have to read the cards as they appear. So let's take a look at some oracle cards now. The camera timer just went to 33. So I really do think everything is going to be okay, that you guys can work this out as long as you want to. Okay, so first we have miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. That's actually a really, really nice message to come out after this. Again, this 3 of Swords doesn't mean that it's a sad development that's going to have a sad ending. It really just means like someone's going to have a sad reaction in the moment. But maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe after some time, you guys will realize this is like the best thing that could have happened to us, and you'll embrace the new life. Back to that Hanged Man energy. It's all about like surrendering your ego and embracing a new perspective. I think you'll end up happy with whatever you choose. You'll end up happy with the outcome. Maybe even happier than you were before. We have movement, yeah. So someone's moving, you guys are both progressing, you guys are both achieving things. This card reminds me a lot of the Eight of Wands. So we have a lot of cards talking about, you know, things moving quickly, movement, Knight of Swords, the Chariot. You guys are making a ton of progress, like in the pursuit of your dreams, in your career, in your professional life. Lots of stuff is moving, lots of things is changing. And so one thing that could be challenging in your love life is like, how do I keep this relationship stable and intact while all of these pieces in my life are moving around? You can definitely do it. You can definitely do it. The Nine of Wands is like, hang in there, be strong, you will figure it out. We also have defeat. It's so interesting. This card often makes me think of someone who's accepting defeat. The star makes me think of the star in tarot. And so, you know, I see this as somebody who had all of these wild dreams, but then as the universe is and as life is, things just ended up a lot more complicated than it was in their head. You know, like I'm at point A and my dream is at point B. In my fantasy, I just shoop, go right here. But life is always freaking messy. So of course a million things need to happen on the way there. And I think this card is asking you not to accept defeat. We also have soothing and patience. There is nothing to do but wait. I think it's only a matter of time before, you know, we always feel confused and sad and bittersweet when things are changing in our life. But I think what these cards are saying is that with a little bit of patience and willingness to embrace a new perspective or a new way of life, everything can work out really, really well. But of course, it's really, really up to you and this other person how you choose to navigate this decision. So just before we finish off the reading, I'm going to take some Flower Petals Oracle cards, and these will be messages from your spiritual team. This could be your higher self. This could be your spirit guides. This could be your person's higher self. We have Lily. Good partnerships are made of equal amounts of positivity. Yes, as long as you guys both want to stay together, you will. As long as you guys both want happiness, you will find it. Whoa, okay, wow. We have Daffodil. The sun shines brighter when you are here. That's definitely a message from your person's higher self. Snowdrop. Group 2 got this one as well. Tomorrow brings the illumination of your hopes. So we definitely have big dreams coming true in 2022. We have Magnolia. You will find what you need in the wisdom of your heritage. So we're getting messages from your spiritual team here. This might be an indication that there are many ancestors who would like to help you out. If you ever feel lost, not even just about your love life, like anything that you're going through in your life, call upon your ancestors. Even if you don't know who they are, even if you never met them, I promise you they are there and they love you so much, and they're here to help you with whatever it is that you are going through. They will help you overcome any tough time. And when they see you crying, it's like, or when they see you upset, it breaks their heart, as if you were watching your beloved baby cry, and they will do anything to comfort you. They will do anything to bring a smile to your face. They are, whether you have a relationship with them or not, they are loving you from afar. Well, not from afar, but they're loving you from the soul world, and they would love to be called upon to help you out. They're so, so proud of you. Okay, so these are all the messages that I'm seeing here for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you guys are interested in entering the personal reading giveaway, but you haven't listened to the instructions and what to do if you win part of this video, there will be a timestamp in the description as well as in the pinned comment. So you can go there and see how to enter. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number fours, so if you guys chose the Mangano Calcite heart, this is going to be a reading all about your love life in the year 2022. So I wanted to try something a bit different for this reading just to make things a little bit more personalized. I'm going to start off by shuffling and pulling 3 cards from this deck. So I'm going to be pulling 1 card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life. So maybe you are trying to manifest somebody new into your life. Maybe you have just met somebody and you're curious about how that's going to go. And then I'm also going to pull a card for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle in your love life. So for those of you who have been in a relationship with somebody, or maybe you've been involved with somebody for quite some time and you're wondering how that is progressing. And then I will pull a card for those of you who are at the end of a cycle in your love life. So this would be those of you who are in separation, or maybe you've just been through a breakup recently, or maybe you are feeling like you're wanting to get out of a relationship. So of course it will be completely up to you to determine where you're at in the cycle of your love life, and you are welcome to claim as many of these messages as you want. You could claim 2 or even all 3 of them. Even if that's not like technically where you are at in your love life, you might feel like you're at the beginning of a cycle, but you resonate with the middle message or the end message or both. You're free to claim whatever messages you like. Yes, so let's get right into it. For group 4, your love life in 2022. So we are going to start off with a card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life, and we have the Ace of Cups. For those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, we have Justice. And the end of a cycle, we have Serenity. And this is the Hermit in traditional tarot. So we will go through each of these one by one. The first card that we have for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life is the Ace of Cups. So what I can say with this card is that if you are trying to manifest somebody into your life or manifest a new relationship in general, I think you're definitely on the right path. I would say that you are a match to this. I think many of you guys with this card, you have been working on your self-love. You have been learning how to treat yourself properly, how to care for yourself, how to respect yourself, respect your boundaries, respect your standards. I feel like you guys are really in a place where you're filling your own cup and you value your inner peace so much. And I feel like you guys are taking a lot less bullshit. Probably this is something that you guys have already been working on, but I think going into the year 2022, this is going to be even more so. It's like you've worked so hard to cultivate your self-love and your inner peace, and you're not going to let some random person, like, or anybody honestly, like come in and mess with that. Like, not anymore. You guys are protecting your inner peace, and this is making you guys a vibrational match or an energetic match to somebody who is really going to respect you and treat you well. And there's just a really, really big emphasis here on self-love. I do think for most of you, this is like a round of applause from your spiritual team. Like, they're really proud of you for prioritizing your self-love. If you guys are trying to manifest a partner, I think self-love is going to be a really, really important ingredient in that. Working on positive affirmations, working on feeling worthy of all the love that is out there in the world. And I also have a message for those of you who are trying to attract love into your life. This is definitely something that Dr. Joe Dispenza has said, but I'm sure other people have like similar ideas. If you write down everything that you would want in a partner and then become that person yourself, that is a really great way to manifest your dream partner. Like, become everything you love, become everything you want in somebody else, become that person that you love, become somebody that you would want to be with. This is all focus on you. Like self-love, self-care, filling your own cup. Many of you guys maybe are coming to the realization that Like, for the most part, anything that you want a partner to do for you, like, you can do it yourself. If you want a partner to make you feel valuable, you can make yourself feel valuable. If you want a partner to nurture you, you can nurture yourself. And maybe the idea of having a person in your life in 2022 is becoming like less of a thing that you desperately need to make yourself happy, and it's more like icing on the cake. Like, your life is already the beautiful cake, and now you're just seeing a partner as like the icing on it. And I think that's really, really healthy. So you guys are in an amazing energy, or you're already working towards stepping into this amazing energy, and I can just see your spirit guides like applauding you, really, really prioritizing your own peace. So moving on here, now we have the Justice card for those of you who are in the middle of something with somebody, whether that is you are in a committed relationship or you've been involved with somebody for quite some time. I do think that the Justice card is indicating that this person will be a very good... Oh, I think that was the door locking. Somebody just left the house. I do think that this person will be a very good match for you. Justice does make me think of somebody who is committed, because it just gives me the vibe of like contracts and like formal agreements, formal partnerships. So if you have been involved with somebody for quite some time, this can indicate you guys like moving up to a level of commitment. If you're already in a committed relationship, I do see you still being in a relationship with this person at the end of 2022. So things are going to go well for you. And with this mirror image, it's making me think like you guys are seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. So I think communication with your person is going to be very smooth this year. And I think for the most part, you guys just agree on a lot of stuff. Like, you agree on what's important and what's not important. You agree on your values. You agree on where you see yourselves in the future. And it's so nice when like, you know, you're on the same page and you're both moving towards the same goals. And I think you guys are really, really gonna feel like, if you don't already, like, I really have my companion in life. I really have my friend in life. And I know that I can do anything with this person by my side. For those of you who are involved with somebody, I really think that this person has like other half potential. Not that you're half of a person, but like that person who really, really complements you, that person who really, really balances you out, that person who supports you, whether things are going good or bad, whether it's easy or hard, like your loyal companion. This is what you are finding. And I think the Justice is talking about you guys really, really being deserving of that and really being worthy of that. There's a lot of reciprocity in this card. Justice normally has scales on it, which makes me think of balance, reciprocated energy. Justice often makes me think of that phrase, what you want wants you. So I see like reciprocated feelings. I see shared values. I see shared direction. It's just a really lovely energy. So if you guys have already found somebody, I think you have definitely found a keeper here. Also, I feel like I interpret the tigers and snakes on this card differently every time, but like tigers make me think of like a fiercely protective energy. Snakes make me think of, you know, snakes, like sketchy people. So maybe you guys are really, really protective of each other. And whenever you see, if someone's trying to mess with your person, or your person sees someone trying to mess with you, like there's some funny business going on, you guys are super protective. Like, nobody hurts my partner. Nobody hurts my other half. There's like this kind of energy going on. So moving on, for those of you who are at the end of a cycle, this is the Hermit in traditional tarot, but I really, really like that it's called Serenity in this deck, because it's showing you guys finally coming to peace with what has happened. So if you guys, you know, are in separation, if you guys went through a breakup, if you guys are just coming to the conclusion that, you know, it's time to walk away or something like this, you're really finding peace with the way that things have unfolded. I think you guys are not, you're not thinking about like, oh, what could I have done differently, or regretting things, or feeling like something has gone wrong. You're just accepting the situation for what it is and truly feeling healed from any of the past pain. Now, for those of you who would be you know, wanting to start up a new cycle in your love life, like you've come to the end here and you want to start up something new, this card is kind of encouraging you not to rush, because the Hermit is a very reflective energy. The Hermit goes within and really assesses the situation, really looks at all the intricacies in their being, really analyzes, like it's Virgo energy as well, so it's very analytical too. Really takes the time to process everything, process how everything affected them, process how they really feel about certain things, process what they really want moving forward, process if what they want is really in alignment with what's good for them. Like deeply, deeply reflective is the Hermit energy, and deeply analytical is the Virgo energy. So I think what this card is also saying is, if you guys have finished a cycle in your love life and you're wanting to move on to the next one, make sure you don't rush. Make sure you don't like move into something else before you've really, really carefully thought things through and learned everything that you needed to learn. Because you may want to just regroup after what you've been through, maybe reassess what you're looking for, reassess what you want to avoid, you know, what patterns you don't want to repeat, because we don't want to like jump back into a new cycle and make the same mistakes, or, you know, get in the same patterns or get hurt in the same way. We want to start a new cycle with the assurance that it's going to be better than the last one. So just, you know, make sure that you're taking that time to reflect. If you've just gotten out of a relationship, maybe you will want to stay single for some time, you know, especially if it's recent. I don't know, maybe some of you guys, it's been a while and you feel ready. You feel like you've done this. In that case, ignore me. But I think for those of you, if it's more recent, you really want to make sure that you know, you have no regrets, that you've made peace with the situation, that you've reflected, and, you know, you've learned everything that you needed to learn. Whether it's like you're trying to get back with the same person or with someone new, just, you know, make sure you have this. All right, so we're gonna switch up the decks now, and I'm gonna take a few cards to see like the succession of how things are going to play out for you guys in 2022 in your love life. I'm not going to be giving specific time frames like for each thing, but basically cards on this side are more towards the beginning of the year and cards on this side are more towards the end of the year, and we will read through them in order. My Justice card is flying away. Yeah, those of you who are like already with someone, like you're just gonna be, is it walking on air? I don't even know if that's an expression, but just you're so happy you feel like you could fly away. Like things are going really, really well. All right, so for group number 4, what's going on in their love life? So we have 2 coming out together. I'm gonna keep them together. We have the Knight of Swords and the 8 of Swords. Okay, there's a pretty clear message coming through here. Then we have the King of Cups. Then we have the 3 of Cups. And then we have the 5 of Swords. Ooh, okay. So, okay, let's start over here. So we have these 2 cards that came out together, the Knight of Swords and the 8 of Swords. There's a few different ways I can interpret this, but I think they're all kind of getting at the same thing. There are 2 consciousnesses here, and I say that because it could be 2 people or it could be a person and spirit. There are 2 consciousnesses here who kind of have different schedules. There is somebody who wants things to move quickly, and then there's somebody who feels stifled or trapped or stuck or rushed in some way. So now just remembering what we just spoke about with serenity, this could be, you know, some people are rushing, like they want a reunion, or they just got out of a relationship and they want to meet someone new, and the universe is like, whoa, hold on. Like, hold on there, we still have some things to reflect on, we still have some healing to do, we still have some lessons to learn. That could be a message here, like at the beginning of the year, to not rush into things. Or this can be also between two people, like I mentioned earlier. So I think somebody is feeling trapped, and because somebody is coming across as kind of pushy, and I don't know whose energy is which, but it's like you guys might meet somebody who is like coming on really strong. Like if you're manifesting someone new, you might, okay, if you guys are manifesting someone new, I feel like the first person that you manifest, or the first person that comes into your life, might not be your manifestation. And it's either like they're gonna be coming on really, really strong, and you're gonna feel rushed and you're gonna feel uncomfortable by that. Or maybe you are the one making them feel rushed. It's really important to remember in these kinds of situations that nobody is right or wrong. Like, nobody is objectively going too fast or too slow. So this is not to like criticize anybody in this situation. It's just that sometimes we have different perceptions of what is fast and slow, and of what is normal or unusual in a relationship. And when those aren't matching, people can start to feel uncomfortable, right? Like, we might have different perceptions of what's an appropriate amount to be communicating every day, or, you know, when we should say I love you, or, you know, and if they're different, it can be kind of awkward, and it can lead to some people feeling trapped. So there's this kind of dynamic. So this can be, again, between you and the universe, where you're wanting to hurry up the universe, and the universe is like, nah, we gotta slow down. Like, it's not time yet. You gotta be patient. Or this can be someone is coming on really, really strongly and kind of freaking you out. Or someone feels that you are coming on really, really strongly, and then you feel like they're moving too slow. It's something like this. You get it? So like people's clocks are not adding up. People's schedules are not adding up. So that could be a little bit of a frustrating or an awkward energy at the beginning of the year. But then moving on here, we have the King of Cups. And then this is a very, very nice energy. For those of you who are in a committed relationship already, it could be something like this, where one person brings up, you know, let's do this together. And then the other person is like, whoa, are we really there yet? And I should actually mention with the Eight of Swords, it may not even be that the other person doesn't want it, but they're just scared. I was thinking of the Eight of Swords as someone feeling trapped in commitment, but the Eight of Swords can also just talk about a lack of confidence. So it could be that, I don't know, somebody says like, let's move in together. And deep down, the other person really wants to, but they're afraid. Like, what if we move in together and we drive each other crazy? Or like, what if I mess things up? And so they're kind of like, whoa, it's too fast. But it's not because they feel stifled by the other person or like trapped by the other person. They're just scared, you know? That could be another way to look at it. But with the King of Cups, I think that everything's going to work out. For those of you who are meeting a new person, like I said, it might not be the very first person who comes into your life that you're going to end up with. Because I'm kind of seeing like there's a new person you meet initially, and you may not be super compatible. And, you know, with this Ace of Cups, which is all about filling your own cup and respecting yourself and keeping your standards high, maybe, I don't want to say it's like a test from the universe, but in a way it does kind of test if you're willing to let this connection go that lacks compatibility, because you know that you deserve something better. Like, you know that something else better is coming for you, where you're going to be more compatible. So I think, yeah, there's this kind of connection that doesn't go very well at the beginning of the year. You let that go, and then that's kind of when you meet the keeper, the good egg, so to speak. And I think this would be around the the summer if you're in the northern hemisphere, or the winter if you're in the southern hemisphere, like around the middle of the year, I guess I could say. This is when you're going to meet someone. And look, it's like you've been working so hard on filling your cup, and then you get the King of Cups. So I think this is when, for those of you who are single, this is when you will meet like the real thing. You will meet the person that you are gonna end up with, or that you could end up with. For those of you who are in a relationship, you might not see eye to eye about the pace that you're going, but then you figure it out, because you know, we had this message here about you guys are really, really good together. You can work everything out together. And for the most part, you do want the same things. You just need to like talk things through. So if this is like a little bump in the road with your current partner, you're obviously going to work things out here with the King of Cups. And then for those of you who are like waiting for a reunion or waiting for someone new to come in after a little bit of a power struggle with the universe, I think this represents the time where you're like finally manifesting the person of your dreams. Now, next to this, we do have the Three of Cups. So for many of you, I think that this person will be introduced by a third party, like you guys have a mutual friend, or like your friend works with this person's friend. There could be a couple like degrees of separation, but it's through people you know. I think you're not like complete strangers or something like that. Could also be that you guys meet at a party because they're cheersing. It looks like there's some drinking going on, or just at a fun event. Usually with Three of Cups energy, this is not like you meet someone at work, because you're meeting in a fun, laid back environment. So that's why I think of party, but it could literally be just like you're out to dinner and you meet this person, or you're at a concert, you're at a museum, or a place where fun is had, and there's no pressure on you to be acting in a certain way. So this is what I'm seeing. I think you guys might start off as friends first with the Three of Cups as well. Yes, okay. I understand. Okay, so yeah, I think you guys will start off as friends with this person, but you'll develop pretty deep feelings for them. Now, I wanted to talk about this apple here, because apples can symbolize something that is like forbidden. So I don't know if it's like this person might be with somebody when you meet, or maybe like somebody you know also likes this person, or something like that. Or it could be because of your position, or because of their position, because of the expectations that are placed on you. You know, you have to keep your relationship under wraps or something like that. But there's this like forbidden fruit. Maybe it's like you're in the same friend group and there's this tension between you and you don't want to make it awkward. It could really be so many things. It honestly doesn't have to be something that scandalous, although it could be. Maybe it's just like, you know, you don't want to make the friend group awkward, but you really, really like each other. So you might be kind of sneaky about your, you know, about your escapades, about your feelings for each other. Could just be something like that, you know? Somebody might, I'm really sorry I'm saying this, but somebody might have a nice butt as well, you know, with the apple. Sorry, I'll see myself out. Okay, but so I honestly think like you would be, if you guys are meeting someone new, I think that you're just going to be friends with this person basically for most of the year, until the end of the year. If you are already with somebody, then I just see this as you guys having a good old time. Very different interpretation, but like you had a bump in the road, you came to an agreement with each other, and now things are just easy. This is like an easy, light-hearted energy, like I said. Maybe you guys are celebrating something in the second half of the year, like if, I don't know, maybe someone's birthday is in the second half of the year, or you have an anniversary, or someone's making an important achievement in their life that you guys are celebrating, or you're celebrating that you decided to move to the next level. But I see some kind of celebration here. I see friends involved, so you might be getting together with a bunch of people and like toasting to your relationship. Super different energy. Like if you're already with this person, then it's like you and your friends are all celebrating the relationship together. But if you're not with this person yet, it's like you're friends, but on the down low, you like each other. So it's almost like a secret energy. Okay, so now we get to the Five of Swords energy at the end. So I'm not gonna lie, I feel like for some people this might be a little bit of a messy energy when you're going through it. It doesn't mean that things aren't gonna work out. But like, you know, for example, if this forbidden fruit is representing like this person is with someone, or there's somebody else who likes this person, or there's somebody else who likes you. The Five of Swords could be like a, you know, it represents arguments, it represents conflicts. So, you know, for example, if it's like your King of Cups likes you and then somebody else also likes you, maybe they have like an argument over you or something like that, or you have an argument with someone over the King of Cups. I'm starting with like the messiest thing and then I'm just gonna move down. I think maybe that's just like for a very small few of you. What I think it is for more of you, honestly, is that you guys are acting as friends, but there's clearly something more going on, but it kind of feels, it's like unspoken or unofficial. And so I think what's happening here with the Five of Swords is like something that sparks jealousy and that sparks an argument, but it's much needed because it's like this needs to be talked about. This needs to get out in the open. And if this Five of Swords moment hadn't happened, then you guys might have just stayed in this vague, we're friends, but we're more than that, but also what are we kind of energy. This is like the turning point. Five represents turning points, moments of truth, moments where the situation, like you're not vague anymore, you're either going this way or that way. So while this could be uncomfortable, I think it's very, very welcome. And if I can just give an example of what this energy is like, it could be, you know, you're friends with this person or you're friends with benefits with this person. And then one of you guys starts like talking to someone else. And it's like, well, like it's not like we're dating. So I don't see why I can't do that. And I'm honestly not sure which one of you it would be, you know, it could very well be you if you're like, I really like this person, but they're not making a move towards me, so I might as well just keep my options open. And then you start talking to someone else and all of a sudden they're upset. And it's like, well, shit, like, why are you upset? And then you have to have a talk about your feelings, and then things that need to be said will get said. And then, you know, it could happen the other way around too, but it's a little bit of an argument, a little bit of a misunderstanding, but at the end it's going to clear up this vague relationship, and I think it's going to lead to the dynamic that you really want, because now everyone's being very, very honest about how they feel. And with the King of Cups, like this, you guys have amazing physical compatibility, by the way, like, oh my god, I like can't focus. Okay. With this King of Cups, like this is somebody who has very, very strong feelings for you. So you need to have this talk, I think. And whatever, if it's like a third party situation or a jealousy situation or whatever, it's a catalyst. It's a catalyst for you guys to talk about what you need to talk about. This is what it looks like to me. And because with this group, I'm seeing the interpretations for like single people and people in relationships very, very differently. So if you guys are in a committed relationship, what is this Five of Swords talking about? So things are going really, really well for you guys. You're celebrating, you're loving life. What is the Five of Swords? What is the Five of Swords representing? Strength. Okay, so, oh, and we also have the Eight of Crystals at the bottom of the deck. This is the Eight of Wands. Okay. I think this is just about you guys improving your communication. Yeah, okay. All right. You know when you like, when you have an argument and you're heated, so you can't really articulate yourself well, or you can't really be objective. So then sometimes you have to like cool down, and sometimes you have to cool down for a long time. Okay, like I can give an example with myself. Like there is something in my relationship that bothered me, but I knew that I was like gonna be impulsive or too emotional about it if I just like addressed it right away. So I reflected on it for a long time, and I made peace with it. And then when I was more calm about it, later I could bring it up to my partner and be like, oh, you know that thing that happened in the past, like, you know, that upset me because blah, blah, blah. And I was able to explain it calmly. Whereas like if I had allowed myself to be reactive, like in the moment, it could have blown up and escalated into something unnecessarily angry or messy or something like that. So it's like giving yourself time to cool down and then discussing it from a more calm place. And I think this is the key to you guys improving your communication. So this almost feels to me, because strength is like your bond is strengthening. Strength makes me think of best friends. Strength is about taming your wild, impulsive, fierce emotions with gentleness and compassion. Eight of Wands is about communication, but smooth communication, whereas Five of Swords is about like conflicting communication. What I feel this energy is like is at the end of the year, I can see you and your partner, and you guys who were the single group, you can claim this too, because you're working things out. At the end of the year, I can see you like looking back with your partner to the start of the year, and from a more reflective and objective place, being able to say like, oh yeah, this, you know, I was bothered when this happened and this is how I felt. Almost like you're having a review of the year, going over what went well for you guys and what really ticked you off. But with the Eight of Crystals, it's like, it's all coming out. It's all out in the open. And so you're still talking about conflicting things. You're still talking about things that bothered you, that didn't sit well with you, but from a place of love and compassion, and from a place of we're partners, we're on the same page, and we're moving in the same direction. It's not a me versus you, it's me with you. And you know, if something bothers me, that's your concern. And if something bothers you, that's my concern. If something makes you happy, that's my joy. If something makes me happy, that's your joy. You get it. Like you're partners like this. So you're just able to have an open discussion about like where you want to move in the future and what needs to improve between the two of you. And there's no like heatedness. There's no defensiveness. It's just gentle and understanding and very, very mature. So wow, that's really, really nice. And that's for anybody, no matter where you're at, no matter which of these interpretations you resonate with. I think anybody can claim that. Okay, so we're going to take a look at some oracle cards now from various decks to get more insights about your love life. We have Express Love Through Gifts. A small token of love can convey great appreciation. So this could be you, or you might be dealing with somebody who has the love language of giving gifts. We have flow. So it's really nice that we have the King of Cups energy with flow, because this just makes me think of somebody who is very in touch with their emotions, who lets their emotions flow and be expressed in a very healthy way. This can be referring to you guys like getting into the flow of your relationship. You know, no matter what you're going through in your love life, it seems like you're ironing out the kinks like early on in the year. Things are flowing really, really nicely. then there's a little bit of another bump in the road at the end of the year. But you talk things through and you figure it out. And I think you and the person you're involved with are getting into a really, really nice flow with each other. Like, you figured it out. You know how to communicate. You know what makes the other person happy and what upsets them. You can sense, like, oh, is it time for us to have a conversation? Is it time for us to check in with each other? Like, you're highly, highly intuitive and highly attuned to each other. This is what I feel with flow. And then we have communication. Yeah, exactly. So you guys are developing really, really strong, and I want to say effective, really, really strong and effective and loving communication between you and your person. Another message that's coming through with communication and Three of Cups as well. I think you guys are really learning this year that some things really just need to stay between you and your partner, you know? Like, some things are just you and your partner's business. If you're having some problems with your partner, if you're not seeing eye to eye or something's going on, you know, you don't always have to go and tell your friends about it or tell your mom about it or whatever it is. Like, rather than going to third parties or, you know, going to other people, just go to your partner first and communicate it directly with them. That might be something that you guys are learning this year. And then I keep forgetting to read because there's a message on both sides. This says, polishing my heart. And then on the other side, it says, feeling is a power that helps me heal. Yeah, this is a year where feelings are coming to the surface, where you just got to be super honest about how you're feeling. And you're with the King of Cups. So you and this person really tug on each other's heartstrings. You really get each other in your feelings. You really get each other in your feelings. You feel a plethora of emotions. And if you don't express them, the universe is going to concoct some debacle to make you express them. Something to trigger you guys and make you get your feelings out. Feeling is a power that helps me heal. You know what I just realized as well? You know, getting your feelings out, it might take getting your feelings out to even realize what it is. Like, with this Five of Swords, imagine it's like you feel bothered in this connection, but you don't, like, you can't quite put your finger on it. And then it reaches a boiling point where you're kind of having a heated discussion with this person and you're like, I just don't like it when you do this because it makes me feel like da da da. And then you say it and you're like, oh, so that's why it bothers me. Like, you never realize what that feeling of discomfort or frustration or something just not sitting right with you was until you spoke it. And you're like, shit, I need to talk about my feelings more because I didn't even realize, like, it was because of this unhealed wound that I was feeling upset. And just by spitting it out, I learned that. So let yourself feel all the things. All right, so we are going to finish off this reading now with some flower petal oracle cards, and these are going to be messages from your spiritual team. It can be from your higher self, it can be from your spirit guides, it can be from your person's higher self. Okay, so we have Jasmine. Success will be found if you hold on to hope. A lot of groups are getting the same messages. I mean, they're nice messages, so I'm not complaining. We have Poppy. This is a new one. Nobody else got Poppy yet. Remember who you wanted to be. Whoa. And then we have Sunflower, practice courage each day. This is interesting because we were talking, like, at the beginning of the reading, focus on who you want to be rather than whom you want to be with. Because if you become the version of you that you really, really want to be, then that person you want to be with will follow naturally. At the bottom of the deck, we have gratitude and grace always look lovely on you. I just thought that was really nice, so I wanted to take that too. And then we have daffodil, the sun shines brighter when you are here. Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever problems you face with your person, like, you're gonna get over them together, because at the end of the day, they want you here. Like, okay, it sounds dramatic, but, like, they can't imagine a life without you. Like, what is that? No, that's dumb. And also, I just noticed I was just thinking of the sun because, you know, the sun shines brighter and like, you're my sunshine. And, you know, when you're, what is that song? Like, ain't no sunshine when she's gone or something like that. And then I noticed that this card is number 19, which is related to the sun. So yeah, they just want you here. They just want you around. That was a very messy way of me saying that. But what other zodiac signs do we have? I'm going to say, yeah, we have Leo because strength, and also number 19 is like the sun in tarot. We have Leo, Virgo, Libra. If these aren't zodiac signs, they could be like a time of the year that is important, because Leo, Virgo, and Libra season are all like consecutive. So it could be like a window where important things are happening. That would be from late July to late October. So we have Leo, Virgo, Libra, and then we also have, well, we have water signs and air signs, but yeah, with the Knight of Swords and the King of Cups. I don't know. I'm going like back and forth. Sometimes I just use major arcana. Sometimes I use the court cards, but whatever. So these are all the messages that I have for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you guys are interested in participating in the personal reading giveaway, but you haven't listened to the instructions and what to do if you win part of this video, there will be a timestamp in the description as well as in the pinned comment, so you can go over to that and see how to enter. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose a topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!